As Days of Our Lives moves into its next dramatic chapter on Wednesday, February 5, 2025, fans will witness the shocking climax of the horror movie Body and Soul. But this time, the terror is no longer confined to the screen. Salem is about to face a real-life nightmare, one that will send its citizens into a state of chaos, fear, and life-threatening peril. The trouble begins when Johnny suddenly falls ill, his health deteriorating at an alarming rate. His wife, Chanel, immediately senses that something is horribly wrong. Panic sets in as Johnny slips in and out of consciousness, forcing Chanel to rush him to the hospital. The urgency of the situation leaves her with no time to think. Her only priority is getting Johnny the medical attention he desperately needs. At University Hospital, Sarah is already overwhelmed. With the ER flooded with patients suffering from mysterious symptoms, it quickly becomes clear that Johnny is not the only one affected. As Sarah scrambles to assess the situation, another shocking collapse occurs. Seth, a once stalwart figure of the hospital staff, suddenly loses his balance and crashes to the floor. The medical team rushes to his aid, but the fear in the room is palpable. What is happening in Salem, and more importantly, who is responsible? As more patients pour into the hospital, the scope of the crisis becomes undeniable. The once busy hallways are now filled with the weak, the feverish, and the unconscious. Among those afflicted are some of Salem's most beloved residents. Kayla, known for her skill in saving others, now lies helpless on a gurney, her fate uncertain. Hattie, never one to back down from a challenge, is now in the fight of her life. Even Joy Wesley, who had no reason to suspect danger, is suddenly found collapsed in bed, her body betraying her in the dead of night. The list of victims continues to grow, and soon Sarah comes to a chilling realization: this is no random illness. This is something far more sinister. The patients all share a common thread: they have been poisoned. But by whom? And why? As Sarah works tirelessly to uncover the source of the poison, another unsettling scene unfolds elsewhere in Salem. At the heart of the unfolding drama stands Whitley, a woman whose love for body and soul has long bordered on obsession. Now, she stands before Abe, syringe in hand, her devotion to the fictional world bleeding dangerously into reality. Her fixation has taken a deadly turn, and with a glint of madness in her eyes, she prepares to take her next step. But Salem is not a town that surrenders easily. Just when it seems that Whitley may claim yet another victim, Paulina intervenes in a way no one could have predicted. With a decisive, fearless move, she turns the tables, stabbing Whitley with a syringe of her own. The tables have turned, and Whitley is left bedridden, the very fate she had intended for others now her own. As the residents of Salem fight to recover, the mystery is far from over. How deep does this conspiracy run? Will Sarah and her team be able to neutralize the poison before more lives are lost? And what consequences await Whitley for the chaos she has unleashed? Meanwhile, back at the DeMera mansion, Chanel grapples with the overwhelming fear of losing Johnny. As she holds his hand, whispering promises of a future together, she can't shake the dread creeping in. Will he make it through the night? Or will the poison prove too strong? Elsewhere, the police begin their investigation, piecing together the web of deceit that led to this catastrophe. Rafe and Jada work tirelessly to connect the dots, interrogating those closest to the victims. As they dig deeper, they uncover a sinister plot that stretches further than anyone could have anticipated. Is there someone else pulling the strings behind Whitley? A mastermind orchestrating a grander scheme? Meanwhile, Sarah and Kayla brainstorm potential treatments, racing against time to create an antidote before it's too late. The hospital becomes a war zone, with doctors and nurses battling to keep patients stable as the poison continues to ravage their bodies. The tension is unbearable, every second counts. In another part of Salem, Paulina struggles with the weight of what she's done. Stabbing Whitley was an act of desperation, but now, as the adrenaline fades, she's left to face the consequences. Did she go too far? Will the law see her actions as heroic, or will she be forced to defend herself in court? In a shocking turn of events on Days of Our Lives, Wednesday's episode delivered a dramatic moment as Alex Kyriakis collapsed right in front of Stephanie Johnson. The unexpected medical crisis left Stephanie rattled, and fans on the edge of their seats. What could have caused this sudden health scare? While Alex and Joy will both be rushed to the hospital for medical evaluation, preliminary reports suggest that their symptoms are not life-threatening. However, that does not mean they are in the clear. The real question remains: what exactly caused them to fall ill so suddenly? Theories are already swirling that they may have unknowingly consumed something tainted, though the extent of the poisoning remains uncertain. It is possible that they ingested only a small amount, which prevented more severe complications. As the mystery surrounding these medical emergencies unfolds, Abe Carver has been piecing together clues and may have finally realized who is behind the ongoing chaos surrounding Body and Soul. The soap opera, once beloved by its devoted viewers, has recently been plagued with strange incidents, and it seems the culprit has finally been identified. Spoilers indicate that Abe and Paulina Price Carver will soon pay a visit to Bayview to confront nurse Whitley King. Longtime fans will recall that Whitley was once obsessed with Body and Soul, making it all the more alarming that she might be responsible for the recent turmoil. It appears Whitley has been sneaking in and out of Bayview, orchestrating a twisted revenge plot against the show she once loved. But why would she target Body and Soul in the first place? All signs point to her disdain for the recent changes made to the long-running series. Perhaps Whitley felt betrayed by the creative direction the show had taken and decided to take matters into her own hands. If the storyline didn't align with her vision, maybe she sought to disrupt it completely. The upcoming confrontation between Abe, Paulina, and Whitley is set to be an explosive one. Spoilers tease that when they find her, she will be holed up in her room, standing in front of a massive board filled with crossed-out photos, an eerie shrine to the targets of her scheme. The discovery of this chilling evidence will leave no doubt that Whitley has been the mastermind behind the months of turmoil surrounding Body and Soul. The poisoning of Alex and Joy appears to be yet another piece of Whitley's sinister puzzle. If she truly is responsible, it would explain why she has been so determined to create chaos. The question now is whether she acted alone or if someone else was complicit in her devious plans. Thankfully, there is hope for the victims. Sarah Horton may be able to provide an antidote or some form of treatment to reverse the effects of whatever substance they were exposed to. With the right medical intervention, Alex and Joy may recover fully and be able to shed light on what happened to them before it's too late. With the Body and Soul mystery finally coming to a head, viewers can expect even more shocking twists in the days ahead. Will Whitley confess to everything? Or will she attempt to evade responsibility and create even more chaos in Salem before she is finally stopped? As the tension mounts and the truth unravels, Days of Our Lives promises that there are still more surprises in store. Stay tuned for the explosive fallout as Salem's latest mystery reaches its dramatic conclusion.